Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A worrying spike in COVID cases among kids. I'm ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. That story coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are starting at 76 degrees and it got pretty hot yesterday, expecting a hot week.
And good morning to you. It is Wednesday, September 8th.
We made it to Wednesday. Yay, it was a little easier because we started late. Well, at least you and I did in the week.
We've got kind of a jump start on the week. All right, so Mike says there's good news and there's bad news when it comes to our South Texas forecast. And the good news is...
I wanted to say not such good news. So good news is lower humidity.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
The flip side is...
Stop there?
Literally the flip side, like we're on broil, right?
Yeah, because dry air heats up easier, so we are going to be back up in triple-digit range now throughout the rest of the work week. We only got 95 yesterday. Had a couple of extra clouds hanging around here, a little bit of extra humidity as well. And then this morning, we are warmer than where we were even yesterday. We're at 77 right now, 78 Stinson, some 60s in parts of the hill country. And again, these numbers, dew points, aren't bad. Yeah, it's not like it's 74, 75, anything like that, but it's still seasonably humid out there. So a hint of a heat index in places. Feels like 78 here in town as of right now. Mold really went up from the rain that we had late in the day on Monday. The updated count today is going to be coming out in just about 7:30 or so. And temperatures will drop down a few more degrees. We do have kind of a smattering of clouds this morning, so not like a blanket on top of us. So I think we dropped down a few more notches this morning. And then we're going to be up to triple-digit readings later on today. And there's a very small chance for a shower or thunderstorm out in portions of the hill country. There's a disturbance out there way out to the northwest, and a few of those may try and meander down into the hill country later on today. But otherwise, rain chances are out of the picture for the short term. Long term, different story. Talk about the weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark?
Mike, thank you very much. In your morning headlines, a powerful earthquake struck southern Mexico last night near the Pacific resort city of Acapulco. We have this video just into our newsroom this morning. At least one death has been reported. The U.S. Geological Survey said the magnitude 7.0 quake was centered northeast of Acapulco. The quake caused buildings to rock and sway in Mexico City, hundreds of miles away. Ground shook for nearly a minute in other parts of the city. Some people evacuated their buildings briefly, but most quickly went back inside due to it being a rainy night. Scientists say the potential for a tsunami has passed.
In Indonesia, a massive fire burned through an overcrowded prison early this morning near the country's capital, killing at least 41 inmates and injuring 80 others. Footage showing firefighters battling to extinguish the massive flames at the compound. Indonesian Red Cross officials evacuated the victims to ambulances, and most of the 41 killed were drug convicts. A preliminary investigation into the cause of the fire has pointed to a short circuit in one of 19 prison cells.
Governor Greg Abbott defending a new state law banning most abortions that does not provide exceptions for cases of rape or incest. The governor says the new law does not force victims to give birth. Abbott also says that Texas will strive to eliminate all rapists from the streets. The comments drawing new criticism from opponents of the law, which is the biggest curb on abortion in the U.S. since they were legalized half a century ago.
And here's a look at the latest coronavirus numbers for Bexar County. The COVID-19 positivity rate has dropped another 3 points this week. We are now at 7.6%. The risk level is at moderate. In the past 7 days, we have seen an average of 1,200 cases per day in Bexar County. No new deaths were reported. Right now, more than 1,200 COVID-19 patients remain hospitalized. 19 of those are children.
Well, now that kids are back in school, COVID cases among children keep going up.
The American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association saying kids represented more than a quarter of all new infections last week. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest from Washington.
With millions of kids heading back to the classroom, a worrying spike in pediatric COVID cases. Just in the last week, nearly 252,000 children tested positive, the biggest increase since the start of the pandemic.
We're definitely seeing a higher number in children.
Younger patients are dying from this, and it's quite disturbing.
COVID cases have already forced at least 1,400 schools across 35 states to close. Top health officials say masks can help keep classrooms open.
No more masks!
But the debate over mandates is far from settled.
If you think masks work, send your kid to school with a mask. But if not, send them to school. Let them breathe. They can't protect themselves. They cannot get vaccinated. It's our job to do that.
In a new milestone, 75% of the U.S. adult population has now received at least one dose of a COVID vaccine. But as the Delta variant spreads, the U.S. now has nearly 4 times the number of infections and double the number of COVID hospitalizations compared to 1 year ago when there was no vaccine.
The treatment for this is prevention. The only thing we have is a vaccination.
In Idaho, one of the states with the lowest vaccination rates, ICUs at capacity could be forced to ration care.
When we get short on certain supplies, oxygen or ventilator equipment or what have you, that may require us to make some tough decisions about who gets what when.
The White House says tomorrow President Biden will unveil a new 6-pronged strategy to fight the Delta variant of the coronavirus and to boost vaccinations. He's expected to urge more companies to impose vaccine mandates. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
We're just getting started here on GMSA. 436, now down to 75 degrees.
Coming up next, a look ahead at some high school football action coming up this week, plus an update on San Antonio Missions baseball. Morning Sports will be next.
They won big last night. Outside with live cam. Yeah, it's a little bit more comfortable out there this morning, but the heat is definitely on here as we are in September 8th. Glad you're with us here on GMSA. Be right back. .39, one of the big games in our big game coverage this Friday night will feature another battle of the early unbeaten Central Catholic, right across the street from us, versus Alamo Heights. The Button surprised a lot of folks when the private school was able to knock off Southwest, a 6A school, in their season opener, 31-7. They followed that up last week with a dominating 44-7 win over Bernie Geneva for a combined 75 points, only allowing 14. It has earned the Buttons a number 4 rank in 12's top 12 sub 5A poll. For Alamo Heights, the Mules are also off to a 2-0 start with a big comeback 34-30 victory over Bernie. Last week they held off Churchill 21-13. That has moved them up to 7 in 12's top 12 among the 6A and 5A schools.
I know they're a strong team. I know they're good. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a fight. Every snap, it's going to be a battle. So it's going to be a good game.
We needed all the momentum we need. Central Catholic, they're a really good team. They got a really good quarterback, really good defense, and we're going to need all of it to get past them.
Kickoff at the newly renovated Orem Stadium this Friday night, set for 7 p.m.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Cowboys have restructured the record-breaking contract of star quarterback Dak Prescott to create $5 million in cap space. In order to do that, they made $6.2 million of Dak's 4-year, $160 million deal into a signing bonus. This as Prescott prepares to play in his first game since Week 5 of last year when he suffered that ugly compound fracture and dislocation of his right ankle. One of his star wide receivers, Amari Cooper, coming off ankle surgery as well. That kept him out all of the offseason workouts and most of the preseason. But it's not lessened his opinion of his abilities going into his 7th season in the NFL. Now to some Missions baseball. The team up in Frisco this week taking on the Rough Riders. Last night's game saw 4 lead changes, 19 runs, 25 hits. San Antonio won in the end. Missions scored 7 runs in the final 2 innings to defeat Frisco. Final score 12-7. The series continues tonight for our Missions up in Frisco in the Dallas area.
Cool. Congrats, Missions.
Convincing win.
Yes. Time now, 4:41 and about 75 degrees. Still ahead, you might have some products in your home that could score you some cash thanks to some class action lawsuit settlements. We're going to tell you how to claim your cash next.
And next, first look at the fraud trial of Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes that is set to start finally later today.
And welcome back. It's 4:44. The fraud trial for Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes got underway today. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has the details in today's GMA First Look.
Do you have anything to say to us, Elizabeth? In this morning's GMA First Look, Elizabeth Holmes about to stand trial. In just hours, a jury of 7 men and 5 women will hear the government's case for the very first time. Holmes, once the youngest female self-made billionaire, set out to change healthcare with her blood testing technology.
We've made it possible to run comprehensive laboratory tests from a tiny sample.
Only days ago, a bombshell. Holmes' defense revealing she will allege she was the victim of a decade of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse at the hands of her former boyfriend and Theranos COO, Sunny Belwani. Belwani denies these allegations.
Seems like this is going to be the main focus of this trial.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll talk live with legal expert Dan Abrams. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, San Jose.
Due to a class action lawsuit settlement, if you've bought certain Kellogg's cereals in the past decade or even Windex glass cleaner, you are due a little cash.
And this 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris explains it's up to you to claim it.
If you pour Kellogg's Raisin Bran into your cereal bowl, you may be able to scoop up some cash. The company settled a $13 million class action lawsuit alleging it labeled certain cereals as heart healthy or lightly sweetened, yet contained excessive sugar. If you bought various Kellogg's Raisin Bran, Smart Start, or Frosted Mini Wheats between 2012 and 2020, you can file a claim. The deadline is today. The average payout should be about $16. If you bought eligible Blue Diamond Almond Breeze products, you could get a piece of a $2.6 million settlement. That lawsuit alleged the company misled people about the vanilla flavor. Without proof of purchase, you can claim up to $5. The deadline, November 23rd. And you can clean up a little cash if you bought certain Windex products. That class action lawsuit alleged the cleaners were falsely labeled non-toxic. If you file a claim by the October 29th deadline, you can get up to $10. And similar story if you bought certain Method cleaning products, you may be due up to $10. Again, the allegation was over the non-toxic claim on the label. The deadline for that one, November 1st. By settling these lawsuits, none of these companies is admitting any wrongdoing. If you're eligible, you can file your claim easily online. We have links on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Well, it's awfully early. We are hovering around the mid-70s at San Antonio International Airport.
Yeah, that sounds great for now, but unfortunately, it will not stay that way, Mike.
No. We'll probably drop down a few degrees, I think, this morning. And then now the next few mornings are going to be a little bit more pleasant with the drier air that's going to be sliding on in here. And then yesterday, of course, we did not hit 100, stayed in the mid-90s. We had a few extra clouds hanging around. And yeah, beautiful. I like that mushroom-shaped sun right there as the sun was coming up. Great picture. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect shot. And right now we do have a few clouds hanging around here, so we don't really have a good blanket on top of us. And I think with the lower dew point temperatures relative to the air temperature, I think we'll drop down a few more degrees. All right, off to the northwest, and watch this as we go back 12 hours ago. There were a few showers and thunderstorms out there northwest of the hill country. There's still a disturbance sitting out there, and that's going to touch off a couple of showers and storms. Some of those may, as we go into the late afternoon hours and even into the evening hours, we'll be developing some of those, even though this model doesn't depict it, may try and kind of meander down into portions of the hill country. So I've got a mention of a stray storm or two in far northwestern portions of the hill country later on today, and then that's pretty much going to be about it. All right, as far as the humidity, it's there this morning, but it will be dropping down later on today, and these dew points are going to be getting down into the 50s. You get below 60, that's that magic number, and it's really pleasant. So yes, dry air heats up a lot more easily. That's going to really allow temperatures to skyrocket throughout the day, so we'll make it up to 100 again today and the rest of the work week. But with that drier air, it's going to be much more comfortable. Your body can actually kind of cool itself if you're in the shade. Humidity will come back up somewhat tomorrow morning and then drop back down throughout the afternoon. And same thing going into Friday, we'll have that lower humidity. Now, once we get into the weekend, then humidity is going to start to come back up, but at least we'll have some rain chances. First of all, out in the Gulf of Mexico, of course, the Hurricane Center has been watching this disturbance out here, but it is still working its way off to the northeast, so that's not going to be of any concern for us. High pressure is now basically in control. It's keeping us in this northerly flow, keeping the humidity on the low side, but kind of pushing down in the atmosphere. Other than those couple stray little showers in the hill country potentially today, it's going to suppress any sort of rain from trying to form up here, and it's going to keep us on the hot side through the rest of the week. And we'll start to kind of temper ease up on temperatures a little bit by Saturday. Then we'll start to get this kind of a wave coming in here from the Gulf, and that's going to be Sunday into the first part of next week, and that's going to start to enhance our rain chances. So we will have a couple of showers around the area on Sunday, and then improving rain chances Monday and Tuesday, and cloud cover and much lower temperatures by the first of next week. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies. They'll just add an even 10 to that. Let's call it 100 again. Okay, mostly sunny skies, one or two of those thunderstorms way off to the northwest. Again, it's going to be few and far between, a 10% chance for rain at best out to the northwest. Triple digits, lower humidity though. It's one of those situations if you're in a pool and got out, you would actually feel kind of cool because the water would evaporate so efficiently off your body.
That's better.
Even though a lot of pools closed after Labor Day. Anyway, and then we'll have the rain chances coming in here Sunday and first part of next week.
Yeah, some of the storms that popped up northwest, like Hill Country yesterday, really got going late in the afternoon.
So that's the thing we'll have to watch out for too. The way it's set up, if anything does pop up, gusty winds. We can have, and of course, some decent downpours, but some pretty strong winds.
Yeah, I think Kerrville, Fredericksburg got some of those yesterday. So we'll see if there's a repeat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody got their turns. Well, almost everybody.
Sort of.
Thank you, Mike. 451, about 75 degrees.
And still ahead, Hulu's about to see a price hike. Plus, Kanye West once again proves he's king of the charts.
Let's take a look at your lottery numbers. Pick 3, 7, 6, 4, Fireball 6. Your daily pour numbers, 3, 2, 0, 1, Fireball 9.
Cash 5, 3, 8, 18, 26, 30. And your Mega Millions, 15, 17, 25, 32, 53, Mega Ball 12, Mega Plier 3. Good luck.
Good morning, I'm Alicia Barrera.
And I'm RJ Marquez, and we're launching a brand new show called KSAT News Now that you can stream online. It's a digital show that you can find on KSAT.com, the KSAT TV app, and of course, KSAT's Facebook page.
A big part of KSAT News Now is being able to engage with you at home, hearing from you. So our first question that we'll be posing is, where were you on 9/11?
Yeah, so make sure you check out KSAT.com. We have an article there where you can submit a short video, and we're also going to be taking questions on our Facebook page as well, and some viewer responses.
So we'll see you later on this morning. The show, KSAT News Now, starts probably at 11 a.m.
Recollect, guys, we are pulling for you in your debut newscast. Well, the price of Hulu is going up. Kanye West continues his reign on the Billboard charts.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Call the blood bank. Tell them we need 4 units of O negative right away.
Take the late 80s drama Doogie Howser, add a big old dash of Hawaii, and you have the reboot Doogie Kamealoha, MD.
Aloha, Mr. Lynn.
17-year-old Peyton Elizabeth Lee stars as the teen doctor in this reimagined version set in Honolulu. And she tells me the original, which launched the career of Neil Patrick Harris, was a little bit before her time.
I feel like I had probably heard of it in some parent reference. But I was not very familiar with the show.
Doogie Kamealoha MD is out today on Disney+. Kanye West once again proving he's king of the charts. His latest album, Donda, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 album chart with the best sales plus streaming numbers of the year so far, beating out Olivia Rodrigo's Sour. It's Kanye's 10th consecutive album to debut at #1. He's tied with Eminem for the most consecutive #1 debuts, tied with Elvis at 10 #1s overall, but the record for the most #1 albums, still the Beatles with 19.
And how many guests are there?
It's going to cost you more to watch shows, including 9 Perfect Strangers on Hulu. The cost of the streaming service going up $1. The ad-supported plan will cost $7 a month, ad-free $13 a month, starting October 8th. And a couple of Grammy-winning music stars with birthdays today. Pink turning 42, while rapper Wiz Khalifa is 34. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And time now is 4:56, and it's 75 degrees out there.
Still ahead on GMSA, Texas Governor Greg Abbott getting more criticism about the state's new abortion law. We'll tell you how he is defending it.
And if you use a popular messenger WhatsApp, why your private messages may not be as private as you might think. That's coming up in Tech Bytes.
TransGuide this morning, checking right now. Looks like we've got a couple of vehicles on the side of road 35 at State Highway 46 right now. Stephen Cavazos is here this morning. He'll have an update coming up here at the top of the hour.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, Governor Greg Abbott is continuing to stand by a new state law banning most abortions as more critics speak against the legislation.
Outside with live cam, mid-70s right now, lower humidity, but it's a bit of a trade-off. We're almost guaranteed more extreme heat by the afternoon hours. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 8th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Happy Wednesday. It doesn't feel like Wednesday. For me, it feels like Tuesday.
We're still off by a week, but it was nice being off for Labor Day Monday. Mike is here with more on our midweek forecast.
Good morning, everybody. And yeah, it is a little bit on the warmer side as we start off this morning. 76 degrees up from where we were. The dew point's down to 72 to measure moisture in the atmosphere. And we got kind of partly cloudy skies, so I think temperatures will continue to drop off a few more degrees before it's all said and done. And it's going to get really hot because the humidity is going to be dropping off quite a bit this afternoon. Dry air heats up a lot more easily, so therefore we are going to be getting up to 100. There's a very, very small chance. See, I've got that 10% on there. That takes into account 1 or 2 showers or storms trying to develop northwest of the hill country late today. There's a disturbance out there, and 1 or 2 of those may try and kind of just find their way down into northwest portions of the hill country late today or even early evening. The aquifer jumped up 0.3 of a foot yesterday, and the allergens, mold really shot up after all that rain that we had late Monday. Fall elm was on the low side. Of course, the updated counts on those are going to be coming out about, say, 7:30 this morning. All right, here's what it looks like in the satellite and radar loop. And you can see some of those showers and thunderstorms that developed way out to the northwest yesterday. And there's still these disturbances out here, and that's going to touch something off there. And again, 1 or 2 of those may try and kind of work their way into portions of the hill country. So some clouds around, not too awfully warm, not too awfully humid this morning. Seasonable, I guess, is the best way to kind of put it. And then, yeah, it's going to be hot today. It will be 8 degrees above normal. Again, a stray storm off to the northwest. And it's going to stay very, very hot, but low humidity throughout the rest of the week. So in the shade, it will be a bit more comfortable. And then we get into the weekend. The humidity is going to start to make a return, and that's going to help out with some cloud cover. But at least with the return of the humidity, that's going to feed some rain chances that come in here later in the day on Sunday, and then especially the first part of next week. So that's encouraging. Getting ready to hit the roads. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos, what is going on, sir? Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Well, drivers are definitely going to want to pack their patience with their cup of coffee this morning. If they're heading down 35, take a look right now. Traffic at a standstill there in one of these lanes, and that's because there is some construction going on out there for our friends up toward New Braunfels. And as we take a look right now at the map, you see that slowdown reflected here off I-35 again northbound, right around State Highway 46. It's overnight construction. Hopefully we'll be wrapping soon, but from the looks of it, again, be prepared for some delays in that spot if you're going to be heading up toward New Braunfels this morning. Do have some construction that was leading to some minor slowdowns there off I-35 southbound at FM 1103. As you can see, though, right now, things are looking pretty green on the screen with traffic moving at 69 miles per hour. So some good progress there. And as we continue to do some jumping this morning, we are seeing a slowdown off 281 northbound at Loop 1604. I talked to our friends at TransGuide. There are some sweepers out there that are leading to some minor delays, but they should be wrapping up pretty soon. But keep in mind, traffic is moving right now at 36 miles per hour. But if you're traveling to San Antonio here in the next few moments, everything looks pretty good right now. If you're going to be coming in from I-10 and Bernie, 24 minutes, 25 on 281 and Bulverde. And if you're coming in from New Braunfels, where we're seeing that delay on the northbound lanes, southbound lanes are looking really good right now with 25 on 35. Let's take one last look at TransGuide. Traffic's moving in some of those lanes. Just be prepared, use some caution, and as always, move over and slow down for those TxDOT crews out there. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. New comments from Governor Greg Abbott about the state's new abortion law have sparked more criticism.
At issue is the abortion law's lack of an exception for rape victims. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details.
This morning, growing backlash over how the governor of Texas is defending the state's new abortion law, which makes no exception for rape or incest.
I find Governor Abbott's comments disgusting.
During a signing ceremony Tuesday for the state's new voting restrictions, a reporter asked Governor Greg Abbott about the new abortion law and its impact on rape victims.
Rape is a crime, and Texas will work tirelessly to make sure that we eliminate all rapists from the streets of Texas by aggressively going out and arresting them and prosecuting them and getting them off the streets.
According to the FBI, in 2019, more than 9,000 rape incidents were reported in Texas. Only 1,100 of them were committed by a stranger. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez slamming Governor Abbott last night.
These aren't just predators that are walking around the streets at night. They are people's uncles, they are teachers, they are family friends.
Governor Abbott has not called on lawmakers to take up any new rape prevention legislation, but he defended the abortion law's lack of exemption by saying rape victims will still have the chance to terminate their pregnancy.
It provides at least 6 weeks for a person to be able to get an abortion.
I'm sorry we have to break it down on, break down biology 101 on national television. But in case no one has informed him before in his life, 6 weeks pregnant means 2 weeks late for your period. And 2 weeks late on your period, so you don't have 6 weeks.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, the Bexar County Commissioner's Court is proposing reallocating 12 positions from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office to different constables' offices. However, it's a proposal that Sheriff Javier Salazar is opposed to. Salazar says those 12 positions include deputies who work with the SWAT team, the Criminal Investigation Division, and dispatch. He says he supports growing other agencies. However, he doesn't want that to come at the expense of the Sheriff's Office.
That myself and every one of the deputies from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office are geared toward public safety. And any position that they take from the Sheriff's Office directly puts the public at risk. And that's unconscionable to me. And I won't allow it without at least having my say.
In response, County Judge Nelson Wolf says they're looking closely at those positions.
We did have 12 people that were working in the sheriff's office that handled warrants. Well, they're budgeted for warrant. I don't know what he's doing with them. He may have used them for some other services, but I think that the constables would be also in the same position of being able to do it.
We'll keep tracking this proposal. An official decision is expected to be made by the end of the week. Natalie, breaking news. Police responding to the scene of a shooting on San Antonio's northwest side.
Our Jonathan Cotto is live at the scene. And Jonathan, what have you been able to learn so far?
Good morning. Information is limited, but we are located at the Cypress Cove Apartments, which is near Northwest Loop 410. Police responding here to the scene of a shooting. We'll take a look here. We have about three to four SAPD units taking a look into what's transpired here this morning. Police tell us a man has been shot in the back. He has been transported to University Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, this could be potentially a family dispute. Witnesses on scene tell us that the scene took place earlier at a bar where there was some kind of altercation. The victim was shot. He didn't appear to know he was shot. He drove here to the Cypress Cove Apartments where other family members alerted him of his injuries. Now, of course, Mark, Stephanie, we are at the Cypress Cove Apartments. The scene is still under investigation. We'll keep you updated as more information is made available. Again, that victim was transported to University Hospital and is expected to be okay. Reporting, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
All right, that live report from the northwest side. Right now, 5:08, about 75 degrees.
And still had details on a new investigation that claims Facebook employs workers who reportedly read through millions of messages on the WhatsApp.
Plus, how the nation's oldest Latino civil rights organization is responding to Texas's new voting law.
And taking a look outside with live cam. We're at 75 degrees, but it's not as humid as it has been these mornings. We'll take the trade-off. We'll be right back.
Just about 5:12, the countdown is on for a Texas State House race anchored right here in San Antonio.
Democrat Leo Pacheco left his District 118 seat to take a job with San Antonio College. Governor Greg Abbott announced a special election to fill the spot that will happen on September 28th. Candidates who want to participate in the race will need to file their application with the Secretary of State by Monday at 5 p.m. Early voting will start on September 20th.
That race was announced after a new Texas voting law was signed yesterday by Governor Abbott. The measure bans drive-through voting and empowers partisan poll watchers. In response, the nation's largest and oldest Latino civil rights organization filed a federal lawsuit. LULAC claims the bill would suppress voter turnout in communities of color. Governor Abbott and his supporters argue the law makes it harder to commit voter fraud.
And time now is 5:12, and it's about 75 degrees out there.
Well, Apple is getting ready to release the iPhone 13. We'll tell you about the launch dates.
And Twitter is testing out a new timeline.
What can I do with less asthma? With Dupixent, I can do more beginner's yoga. Namaste. Namaste. Surprise parties. Aw, you guys. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks. For free! So I can do more of the things I love. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that can improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks and can reduce or even eliminate oral steroids. And here's something important. Dupixent can cause serious allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis. Get help right away if you have rash, shortness of breath, chest pain, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection, and don't change or stop your asthma treatments, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Are you ready to do more with less asthma? Just ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
516, a new investigation has found that messages posted on WhatsApp are not as private as Facebook says they are. ABC's Mokhtar Abdi has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook is denying a report it reads and shares WhatsApp messages. An investigation by ProPublica claims Facebook employs contract workers who reportedly read through millions of messages on WhatsApp. Facebook says WhatsApp reviews messages sent to them by users to report abuse. Apple has released a short video announcing its next product launch. Next Tuesday's event is expected to feature a new iPhone and possibly the next Apple Watch. The company's September event is considered its most important of the year, just ahead of the holiday shopping season. And Twitter is testing out a new timeline design. The display has an Instagram look with edge-to-edge pictures and video. The design will only be visible to a small group of iOS users. For now, it's unclear when or if Twitter plans to roll out the new design to all of its users. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
It's now 5:17.
And yesterday we had some issues on I-10 and Huebner. Today it doesn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos.
Hey, good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yeah, it looks pretty quiet here at I-10 at Huebner, but if you're looking pretty closely here, and it's very difficult to make out, there is a vehicle right there on the shoulder lane. No emergency lights on at this time, so it is difficult to make out. So if you're driving through I-10 at Huebner, use some caution. This could be an abandoned vehicle, but we're not sure if the driver is still in there. But either which way, this is located in those westbound lanes of I-10. A stalled vehicle reported out there. Again, just be careful when you see that, because it was even difficult for us to spot right now this morning. Still seeing a minor slowdown there off 281 northbound at Loop 1604 with traffic moving at 53 miles per hour. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, TransGuide does tell us that there were some sweepers going through the areas that were leading to some minor delays, but looks like things are picking up and things are looking really green on the screen, which is what we like to see. Let's jump on over, though, to State Highway 46 right here off I-35 northbound. We showed you some construction that was going on up there, leading to some slowdowns, almost vehicles at a standstill. Looks like that has since wrapped up and people are getting on the move now, but always mark your calendars because more construction is going to be happening this weekend. Take a look right now. This road construction is out towards Kendall County. It's going to lead to the closure of the eastbound frontage road at State Highway 46 intersection and the closure of Upper Balcones Road at the eastbound frontage intersection there. And this is right along I-10. We've been talking about this for quite some time because it's going to be going on this weekend. It's on Sunday, September 12th, starting at 6 a.m., but it's going to be taking place for 6 weeks. So start planning those alternative routes. And as we take one last look at TransGuide, again, move over and slow down when you see those stalled vehicles out there. This one looks like it's pretty hard to see, but just make sure you check those cars also before hitting the roadway, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, you can barely see it.
Yeah, right there.
That you can see.
This we can see, yes.
That I can see.
But I love the caption especially. Relaxing.
Oh, nice.
At the campsite, just being out there and just looking up at the sky. And
Down at Port A.
Yeah. You ever camp down there? We did one time.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember. I fished down there. I don't know if I camped there.
I walked down there, but
yeah,
not
down
camped.
there.
Walked around.
Kids were in Scouts. My boys were in Scouts years ago, so.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Good memory.
Wonderful memory down there. All right, it is It's humid out there this morning. Not oppressively so. We've got dew point temperatures in the kind of upper 60s, mid-upper 60s, and some low 70s. Seasonable humidity, not fog up your glasses, anything like that. But what is kind of promising over the next few days is the dew point temperatures are definitely going to be dropping down. That will allow for some cooler mornings, so we'll be hovering right around 70 over the next few mornings. And then also in the afternoons, even though it's going to be really, really hot, when you have drier air, your body cools itself much more efficiently, and it's going to be really comfortable through Saturday. That all changes, though, by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But it's not a bad thing necessarily, because with that extra humidity, that's going to be feeding some showers and even a couple of thunderstorms around here. So rain chances are looking okay as we get into the latter part of the forecast, starting really later Sunday afternoon and then Monday and Tuesday. As far as today is concerned, there's still that disturbance northwest of the hill country, and a couple of those showers, a couple of thunderstorms may actually try and kind of work their way down into northern portions of the hill country late this afternoon or into the evening hours. Most are going to be, just driven by the afternoon heating. Once the sun goes down, most of those should be dying down. But just to be on the lookout for that out in northern parts of the hill country. All right, in the tropics, once again, there is Hurricane Larry, and it's still churning out there. May have weakened a little bit. The eye is not quite as well defined. And then we've got this disturbance right here in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. This is the one that the Hurricane Center has been watching. It's not really developing into much of anything. It's going to be a rain producer, but it's still going to continue to work its way off to the northeast. So that's not going to have really any effect on our weather at all. And the high has started to, or is continuing to take over, keeping us in a northerly flow, keeping the drier air around here. So that's why it's so comfortable, but it's going to be hot with temperatures getting up to triple digits the next couple of days. And then we're going to be watching a couple little disturbances trying to develop down here in the Gulf, little waves, and that will start to move on in here. And that's going to give us the chance of rain starting late Sunday into Monday, and not really developing into anything. I mean, the Hurricane Center is not even eyeballing this thing. It'll just be a little wave coming in here, but just enough to give us that chance for rain. 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature then makes it up to 100 today. A storm off to the northwest. One or two of them out there. Going into the next couple of days, not much really changes. Lower humidity, as it will be more comfortable. And then we have the rain chances coming in here later on the weekend. So the first part of the weekend is going to be more comfortable. Temperatures will start to drop a little bit on Saturday, and then down to about normal readings, and even a little bit below that by the first of next week. And even long range computer models, as of right now, keep us in the 80s much of next week.
I like these.
Okay, so a possible shift there.
Right.
Okay.
That's good news, Mike.
Yes.
Okay. We'll drag it out of here.
We just got to make it through the next couple of days.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But again, at least lower humidity.
We like that.
Yep.
Bless you, Mike Osterhage. Bless you. 522, 75 degrees.
And up next in your morning spotlight, Cardi B gives birth and Lego Star Wars gets a little spooky.
Lotto numbers, pick 3, 764, Fireball 6, Daily 4, 3201, Fireball 9.
Cash 5, 3, 8, 18, 26, 30. And your Mega Millions, 15, 17, 25, 32, 53, Mega Ball 12, Mega Flyer 3. Good luck.
Welcome back. 525. Jake Gyllenhaal stars in a new thriller, and Cardi B welcomes a new baby.
Here's CNN's Rick Damigella with the Hollywood Minute.
911, this is emergency operator 625.
Jake Gyllenhaal is taking your call. The actor stars as a troubled police detective turned 911 operator in the new thriller, The Guilty. This is your first look at the Netflix feature, which finds Gyllenhaal in a race against time to save a woman at the other end of the line. Cardi B welcomes a new addition. The rapper announced the birth of her second child on her Instagram account on Monday. She shared an adorable photo with her new baby and husband Offset. Cardi has yet to reveal the name of her newborn son.
Within these walls lies tales almost too terrifying to tell.
Your favorite Legos get spooky. Disney Plus unveiled the first hair-raising trailer for the animated special Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales. Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and even Jabba the Hutt are back for the program, which premieres on the streaming platform on October 1st. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
527, 75 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, an update on how COVID-19 continues to affect kids, especially in the classroom.
Plus, a look at the nation seeing a sudden surge in gun violence, specifically over the Labor Day holiday weekend.
And the Animal Defense League has a pet for you to take home today. We're going to check in with them coming up.
It's the kind of art that some people love and others love to hate. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll introduce you to a muralist who has deep roots in graffiti. That's coming up.
Making headlines this morning, an update on how the latest COVID variant is affecting children in classrooms.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are starting it at 75 degrees, not too bad. We're expecting to reach triple digits though.
And good morning, everybody. We've made it to Wednesday. It is September 8th.
Thanks for joining us. Happy Wednesday. Hope you've had a good week so far. And, maybe can avoid the heat here and there.
Hopefully, because it's just been a scorcher the last few days. Here's Mike Osterhage with more on how our midweek forecast is shaping up.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it is going to be hot, but the good news is at least the humidity will be dropping down pretty significantly. So therefore, it is going to be more comfortable. Your body can cool itself a lot more efficiently if you're in the shade. Temperature right now, 76 degrees. The normal average low is 72. So we're still a little bit above that, but I think we continue to drop down a few more notches before it's all said and done. Dew point's at 72, which is, yeah, it's humid out there, but it's not ridiculously humid. No real breeze to speak of. Mold really went up on yesterday's reading from the rain that we had Monday evening. The updated count's going to be coming out just after about 7 o'clock, 7:30 or so this morning. Fall elm is also on the low side. 90 at noon, 100 high temperature today. A shower thunderstorm too. Far northwest portions of the hill country. There's disturbance out there in kind of the western portion of the state, and that may actually throw a shower or two into portions of the hill country. Very, very small chance for that, but just kind of a mention of it. And wind is going to be staying primarily out of the northeast, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that's going to help with that drier air. So a little bit more comfortable. Now, we do have some rain chances down the road. We'll talk about that and take a closer look at the upcoming weekend. Traffic authorities, Stephen Cavazos. Anything big we need to know about out there?
It's getting a little bit busy, Mike. Now that the morning's picking up, taking a look here at 281 at the quarry is a shot at TransGuide, but looks like there is a crash reported right there off of 281. You can see off in the distance. I'm working with our friends over at TransGuide to get us a closer look at what's exactly happening out there. But this is reported near Bassey Road. Again, stay with us for more details on that on the information we're going to be getting from this crash. Again, this is off 281 near Bassey. But another crash reported up off Loop 1604 eastbound at Bitters Road is leading to some sort of slowdown as we're seeing in these eastbound lanes right there again on 1604. So do be prepared to slow down and move over as well when you see those flashing lights out there. Still have that stalled vehicle though off I-10 westbound at Hebner Road. It appears that this could be an abandoned vehicle. Again, we showed you the shot at TransGuide a little bit earlier this morning. There were not any flashing lights or emergency lights out there, I should say. So just be prepared and you move over if you see that vehicle stalled out there again, I-10 westbound at Hebner Road. As we take a look at the map and zoom out, it's still pretty green on the screen. We started off with a little bit of slowdown and congestion due to some construction, but right now it looks like things are picking up pretty smoothly so far. So if you're traveling to San Antonio, shouldn't expect any delays at this hour because it's pretty green from Seguin on I-10 with 29 minutes, 23 on 87 and Lavernia, and we're looking at 28 coming in from Floresville at this hour. Let's take one last look at this shot at TransGuide. Again, we're working to get a closer look at this crash reported here off 281 and give you the details as morning does pick up. Mark, Stephanie.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. Happening now, police investigating a shooting that's left one man injured. This all taking place on the city's northwest side.
Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live now with the details.
Mark, Stephanie, I'm located at the Cypress Cove Apartments. That's near Northwest Loop 410, just down the street where just moments ago, police were investigating a shooting here that took place. This right here is the victim's car. But here's what we know so far. Investigators on scene tell us they responded to the Cypress Cove Apartments near Northwest Loop 410 at around 4 this morning for reports of a shooting. They say this could all be some kind of family dispute that led to one man being shot in the back. Now, we did speak with some witnesses on scene. One man says that that dispute started at a nearby bar. Police say that bar, Roxy Sports Bar, that's about 2 miles down the road. The witness we spoke to says the victim wasn't aware he had been shot, but he was driving this vehicle. And as you can see from the visible marks, the number of shots of this vehicle acquired, one here. The victim ultimately being shot in the back. Now, police tell us he has been transported to University Hospital. He is expected to be okay, and police are on the hunt for that suspect. Reporting, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. More on that story as we get it. Well, as we head into fall and then winter, there are concerns about what the colder temperatures will mean for the battle against the coronavirus. As CNN's Reed Binion reports, that concern is due to the number of children now becoming infected.
This particular variant has attacked the adults at a faster rate. It's attacked our student population at a faster rate.
Educators and health officials alike sounding the alarm over the surge in coronavirus cases among children. More than 250,000 child cases were reported for the week ending September 2nd. That's more than a quarter of the total number of cases reported over that period.
We've got to get the school system masked, in addition to surrounding the children with vaccinated people.
This comes as the nation hits a grim milestone, the U.S. surpassing 40 million total coronavirus infections, with 10% of those cases reported in just the last 4 weeks. And medical experts warn we could be on the verge of an even more intense spike in cases, following heavy travel and large gatherings over the holiday weekend.
We are having to prepare ourselves for having yet again another surge after the Labor Day holiday.
This amid concerns about the ability of hospitals to keep up. According to Department of Health and Human Services data, 8 states had more than 90% of their adult ICU beds occupied as of Sunday. With cases and hospitalizations already on the rise, President Joe Biden is set to address the nation Thursday about the next phase of his pandemic response. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Closer to home, one Sabinal ISD parent is frustrated by the lack of mask wearing at schools. Her 8-year-old son was exposed to COVID last week, and now she says his entire 3rd grade class is quarantined.
It's one kid is exposed and then another kid from a different classroom is exposed. You never get to actually breathe because you send your child and you're just concerned.
Superintendent Richard Grill says when too many staff members are exposed and need to quarantine, that spreads the remaining staff too thin, and they have no option but to close campus. With a shortage of teachers and not many of substitute teachers, he says there are not many options.
If we all work together and we understand that what worked last year and what we were doing last year worked, to work with your schools to let it work again this year. In the end, the kids suffer because if we're not having school or we're having substitutes in the classroom, they're just simply not learning.
So here's where we stand. Sabinal Elementary, except for 3rd grade, are in school this week. High school and junior high campuses are closed until next Monday. Uvalde Health Authority says after several weeks, the hospitalization trend appears to be dropping.
The U.S. Coast Guard looking into hundreds of reports of oil spills in the Gulf of Mexico since Hurricane Ida. The Coast Guard conducting flyovers off the coast of Louisiana as it investigates nearly 350 oil spill reports. The flyovers are focused on 2 locations. One is the Enterprise offshore drilling rig in the Gulf of Mexico. The second spot is the bay at Marchand, which is south of Port Fourchon. Hurricane Ida made landfall near that area on August 29th.
Britney Spears' father wants to end her court-ordered conservatorship. A new court finally says Jamie Spears wants the best for his daughter and that he'll honor her calls for independence. The filing appears also cites hearings in which the singer called the arrangement abusive and cruel. James Spears has been managing his daughter's finances for 13 years. An attorney for Britney Spears calls her father's petition a legal victory and vindication. Another person stepped in to oversee her medical issues in 2019. A previously scheduled hearing in the case is set for September 29th.
And time now is 5:38, and it's about 75 degrees out there.
Still ahead on the morning show, a popular streaming service is raising prices on some of its popular plans.
Also next, across the nation, at least 6 children were killed as a result of gun violence over the past few days. We're going to take a closer look at what ended up being a lethal Labor Day weekend.
Outside with Live cam right now on your Wednesday morning, waiting for the sun to come up over the Alamo City. Thanks for starting your day with us here on Good Morning San Antonio.
Good morning, I'm Alicia Barrera.
And I'm RJ Marquez, and we're launching a brand new show called KSAT News Now that you can stream online. It's a digital show that you can find on KSAT.com, the KSAT TV app, and of course, KSAT's Facebook page.
A big part of KSAT News Now is being able to engage with you at home, hearing from you. So our first question that we'll be posing is, where were you on 9/11?
Yeah, so make sure you check out KSAT.com. We have an article there where you can submit a short video, and we're also going to be taking questions on our Facebook page as well, and some viewer responses.
So we'll see you later on this morning. The show, KSAT News Now, starts promptly at 11 a.m.
Time check 5:42. A new report shows that gun violence gripped the nation over the lethal Labor Day holiday weekend.
CNN's John Lawrence reports more than 300 shootings were recorded by the Gun Violence Archive just in those 3 days.
At least 6 children have become victims of gun violence in Chicago this Labor Day weekend.
These innocent young children should not be the byproduct of your criminal behavior.
Chicago police say around 50 shootings scarred the city from Friday to Monday. More than 60 people were shot, 6 of them fatally, including a 4-year-old boy.
This victim was inside of his residence in the front area, getting his hair cut when 2 bullets came through the front window and struck our victim in the head.
In Kansas, 1 person was killed in a shooting at a Wichita nightclub early Tuesday morning that left multiple people injured.
Each one of them received life-threatening injuries from gunfires.
In Georgia, 7 people were shot after a fight broke out in Athens Sunday.
It hit him on his side. It ricocheted from my nephew in his inner thigh and then hit my daughter's best friend.
In Atlanta, 5 people were wounded by gunfire outside of a club hosting a Black Pride party on Monday.
Gunshots went off and people just started running.
And in Lakeland, Florida, an 11-year-old was injured during a shooting at a home that left 4 people dead, including an infant. Police say the victims didn't know their killer.
That's the scary part for me, because since it was random, I'm literally the next driveway.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And time now is 5:44, and it's about 74 degrees out there.
Up next, we're checking with the Animal Defense League and a furry friend that needs a new home.
All right, we did it now. We just got her hyped up. Okay, ready? Come here. I'm going to get a face full of... Hi.
Now she's so excited.
Hi. Oh, yes. Who is this? Yes.
So this is Olive.
Don't choke yourself, sweetie.
Olive, believe it or not, she's one of our seniors. So she's 9 years old.
That's a senior dog. Good Lord. What kind of vitamins you feeding her?
She's got the energy of a puppy, that's for sure. So she is available for adoption at our main campus. And yeah, she is a little ball of energy. She loves to play with other dogs. And just the sweetest thing.
And the great thing about a senior like that is you know exactly what her personality is, which is type A, and she loves plenty of energy, loves to play. She's going to be great with the kids still, even at 9 years old. She'd make a perfect companion. And short hair, easy to take care of, too.
Yes, absolutely. Say hello. You're going to look in the wrong way.
All right, and you're going to open up the doors to a whole lot of folks coming up in October, and you can join, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we have our annual fundraising gala. It's our largest fundraiser of the year. It is our Fur Ball Gala, and we are opening up tickets to the public. So this event, it is a lovely sit-down dinner. We're going to be having a live auction, a silent auction. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope that everyone can attend. You can go to our website to look at more information on how to purchase a ticket and help support the Animal Defense League and babies like Olive.
Yeah, so it's going to be on the Wednesday nights, the 6th, 13th, and 20th of October. It's my privilege to be able to MC all those nights there. So well, I don't know about that, but anyway, yeah, if you'd like more information on buying tickets, you said especially for the 13th.
Yes, the 13th is when we have the most availability, and we would love for the public to come. And so, yeah, you can visit our website, adltexas.org, for more information.
All right, or head on out to 11300 Nacogdoches or the Paul Jolly Center across from the zoo and check out. Okay, ready to go, Olive? Ready? Go, run,
go get
squirrel.
Squirrel.
Oh, what? Better not say that. Sorry.
She books it.
In your morning consumer headlines, Hulu is raising prices for its 2 on-demand streaming services. It will cost you an extra $1 beginning October 8th. Hulu without ads will rise from $11.99 to $12.99 a month, and the service with commercials will go up from $5.99 to $6.99. Prices will stay the same for Hulu Plus Live TV and its Disney streaming bundle.
Boeing's biggest customer outside the U.S. is walking away from talks over orders for new 737 MAX jets. Ryanair, a low-fare carrier like Southwest, now says the two sides are just too far apart on pricing. Discount Airline bought 75 737 MAX jets last year. According to Bloomberg, Ryanair has already ordered 210 of the smaller MAX jet, with deliveries expected over the next 5 years.
Toyota now says it will spend $9 billion over the next decade ramping up production for batteries for electric cars. The world's largest car maker says it wants 80% of its vehicles to have some sort of battery power by 2030. While most will be hybrids, it expects to sell 2 million fully electric cars a year by then.
Just about 10 till 6.
Go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. I saw things gathering up there on I-35.
Yep, we talked about this a little bit earlier, that construction that was going out there towards New Braunfels, that is. 35 north at State Highway 46. Taking a closer look at TransGuide, though, we do see those flashing lights are still out there. Some more convoys that are still working to improve the roadways there. But just taking a look at traffic, it is building up pretty slowly. Still early enough to where we're not seeing major delays. Just be prepared to move over and, as always, slow down. But the bigger issues that we're spotting are more in town right now. Taking a look, this crash, we've been talking about it for a little while. Loop 1604 eastbound at Bitters Road. Right now, we're seeing that build up again here on these eastbound lanes, as you can see with the red and orange showing on those eastbound lanes of 1604. So just be prepared to slow down or maybe find an alternative route this morning if you plan on heading out the door in the next few moments. But checking those vehicles as well, because we still have that stalled vehicle we talked about as well, reported off I-10 westbound at Huebner Road, that is. Doesn't look like anybody may have been inside. This could have been a stalled vehicle or an abandoned vehicle, that is. But again, use some caution when you drive through there, because that is very difficult to make out when there's no emergency lights on. But we do have another crash to talk about here. This one located off US 281 at Bassey Road. We showed you the shot. It doesn't look like it's right on 281 or even on the frontage road. Talked to our friends at TransGuide. That's somewhere off of Bassey. So just use caution driving through that area this morning. It has been picking up pretty busy here in the traffic lab. And of course, we're tracking it all right now, making sure you can get to where you need to be on time. But more importantly, safely. Just one last look here at TransGuide 35 north at State Highway 46. Hopefully this construction will be wrapping up soon, as the morning rush hour is getting a little bit closer, guys.
All right, hopefully.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right, we had some clouds hanging around here yesterday, and one of my favorite sings in a picture with a windmill there.
Another windmill.
You were hiding that windmill earlier.
See, I wanted to surprise you on that one. Over there in Hondo. Thank you very much for that picture, Claudia. Got some clouds hanging around here this morning, sort of partly cloudy skies. So I think that's going to allow temperatures to maybe drop down another couple of degrees. We're at 75 right now, 73 Port SA, some 60s in parts of the hill country. The humidity it's there. It's not ridiculously high, I guess I should say, and so we don't really have that much of a heat index in much of the area. And we're not going to have too awfully much one later on this afternoon, just because we'll have some lower humidity later on. Now, as far as the dew points at the moment, we are actually up a couple of notches compared to this time yesterday. It's a little bit warmer than what it was the past couple of days. Rock Springs a little bit higher as well. However, going into the next few days, especially in the afternoon, the dew points, therefore the humidity is going to be much, much lower, so it will be more comfortable in the afternoon. Like I said, we won't have that much of a heat index to really deal with. It's just going to be plain old hot, but if you're in the shade, it's going to be comfortable. But then that humidity and these dew points are going to really be coming back by Sunday, later on in the weekend, Sunday into the first part of next week. That, though, is going to be feeding some showers and thunderstorms, so we'll have a better chance for some rain. Forecast today, there's a disturbance out there to the northwest, and that may actually touch off a couple of showers, thunderstorms, primarily north of our area. But there is the chance some of those could go a little bit further to the south. And there's actually a marginal risk, and this is outside of our viewing area, but some of those could be on the strong side. And if one or two of those storms does happen to get into our area, there could be some pretty blustery winds, some gusty winds associated with it. So just something to keep in mind. But again, the rain chances are 10% at best. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies. High temperature then makes it up to 100, mostly sunny. Just a mention of a shower thunderstorm off to the northwest. And we're going to stay very hot the next couple of days. Lower humidity, though.
So it will be somewhat more comfortable. And then humidity does come back in late in the weekend. At least some of it's going to be squeezed out in the form of a shower or thunderstorm.
Yeah, but look at your trend for next week. That's kind of nice.
Yes.
Temperatures in the probably upper 80s, maybe 90, a good chunk of next week.
Is that triggered by a quote unquote frontal system or something else?
Yes and no. I mean, a weak little front, not like the big fronts that you,
Not yet.
wait on and know and love.
We're still waiting for that.
Yeah, still waiting for that big one to come on through here. But it's just that little bit cooler air, overall pattern kind of changing slightly.
We like it.
Yeah, we'll take the 80s
Very
for
nice.
now.
Just back down to normal, basically, is what.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. 5:54, about 74 degrees.
Let's take a look at your winning lotto numbers. We have pick 3, 7, 6, 4, Fireball 6, and Daily 4, 3, 2, 0, 1, Fireball 9.
Cash 5 numbers 3, 8, 18, 26, 30. And Mega Millions 15, 17, 25, 32, 53. Mega Ball of 12, Megaplier was 3. Good luck from everybody here on KSAT 12. We are just days away from the 20-year mark since the September 11th terrorist attacks. One World Trade Center in New York now stands as a symbol of resilience. But how else does it differ from the Twin Towers? And take a closer look online right now at KSAT.com. Still ahead on GMS 86, a massive 7.0 earthquake strikes Acapulco, New Mexico overnight. We'll take a closer look at the aftermath. TransGuide back here at home. We're looking at 35 at Highway 46, and we've got traffic starting to build up out there on I-35, which never really slows at night. That and the midweek forecast with Mike Osterhage. A bit of a trade-off in the humidity and heat department. He'll explain coming up.
A worrying spike in COVID cases among kids. I'm ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. That story coming up.
And here at home, taking a look outside with live cam. Not too bad to start your morning, but we are expecting those triple digits today. However, as the week goes on, we are expecting less humidity. So there's a trade-off there.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. It is Wednesday, September 8th.
Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. You have some time to get that extra cup of coffee. It is 6 a.m.
Time to talk to Mike about a forecast, then we'll talk to Stephen about traffic. But the good news is, and let's jump ahead real quick, I want to just tease your forecast for Monday or Tuesday. It's looking better in the temperature department.
Yeah, well, actually, what's interesting is it'll be down at normal. Or actually a little bit below that, so with some cloud cover. And we're looking at even some upper 80s.
Well, we always encourage normal when possible around here, Mike Osterhage.
Right, you always want what you don't have, so. Temperature, because we've been above normal for, the past, week or so at least, and we're still going to be there throughout the rest of this week with temperatures actually close to record highs, believe it or not. I know, but got to grin and bear it with that one. 74 right now here in town, so we continue to drop down another couple of degrees. Stinson's still at 77 and some low 70s there at Randolph. Kelly also at 74, and mold is really high. This was yesterday's reading after the rain that we had Monday night. The updated count's going to be coming out in about an hour and a half or so. And throughout the rest of today, temperatures will, again, maybe drop another degree or two, down close to the average normal low temperature, which is 72 right now. Wind is going to be out of the northeast today, so that's going to help with keeping the humidity on the lower side. So therefore, it will be somewhat more comfortable. 90 at noon, but again, dry air heats up much more easily than moist air does, than humid air does, and so therefore that will allow temperatures to really skyrocket, getting up again close to 100 later on today. And we're going to be looking at that for the next couple of days. Dry air, though, then the humidity comes back in. The flip of that, then temperatures go down, but with that humidity, at least some of it's going to be squeezed out in the form of some rain later on in the forecast. Details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen Cavazos. We've had kind of little messes here and there. What's going on?
The scattered mess. I think that's a good way to phrase it, Mike. And, we got a call from one of our viewers, Terry, who drives up through 35 and noticed that construction out here at 35 at State Highway 46. Noticed that some of the barrels were being picked up. So as you can see from this shot, good news for drivers like Terry. things look like they're clearing up, but we're still seeing that slowdown there off 35 northbound at State Highway 46 toward New Braunfels going up toward Austin. So be prepared out there. We see a little bit of a delay. Hopefully that won't impact anyone's drive time, but jumping around town here, let's go ahead and head back here to the Alamo City, where we do see that crash still reported off Loop 1604 eastbound at Bitters Road. Now we're seeing the traffic slowing down, red and orange on the screen, which is not necessarily a good sign. So meaning that there are some delays out there. We're going to be watching that closely and see how that's going to be impacting the drive time now that the morning's really getting going. Still have that crash though reported here, located off 281 at Bassey Road. This is not on the highways. We showed you that shot at TransGuide. It does look like this may be somewhere off 281, but it's on Bassey Road. So just use some caution driving out there this morning. However, we do have some good news for the inbound times. Things are still pretty green. Pleasant drive from Pleasanton with 28 minutes at this hour and 17 on 35 coming in from Lytle. And if you're driving in from Castroville on Highway 90, we just have 19 minutes at this hour. So some good news there. But right now, bringing it back, one last look at 35 north at State Highway 46. Construction clearing out, but we still see some slowdown. So just be patient out there and we'll be watching the roads closely. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. Right now, we're staying on top of a developing story on San Antonio's northwest side. Police are investigating a shooting that sent one man to the hospital. Jonathan Cotto has been following this story and has the latest.
Mark, Stephanie, I'm located at the Cypress Cove Apartments near Northwest Loop 410, where police were just actively investigating the scene here just moments ago. But here's what we know so far. Investigators on scene tell us they responded to the Cypress Cove Apartments near Northwest Loop 410 at around 4 this morning for reports of a shooting. They say this could all be some kind of family dispute that led to one man being shot in the back. Now, we did speak with some witnesses on scene. One man says that dispute started at a nearby bar. Police say that bar, Roxy Sports Bar, that's about 2 miles down the road. The witness we spoke to says the victim drove here and didn't even realize that he had been shot. Now, from the look at the vehicle, we can see the number of shots that the vehicle acquired. A shot here, a shot here. Now, the witness says the man drove here and complained of a pain on his shoulder, but of course that information is not confirmed. Police did tell us that suspect was transported to University Hospital. He is expected to be okay, but of course police are on the hunt for that suspect. Reporting, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Bexar County Commissioner's Court is proposing reallocating a dozen positions from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office to different constables' offices. However, the proposal Sheriff Javier Salazar is opposed to. Salazar says those 12 positions include deputies who work with the SWAT team, Criminal Investigation Division, and even dispatch. He says he supports growing other agencies, but he doesn't want that to come at the expense of the Sheriff's Office.
That myself and every one of the deputies from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office are geared toward public safety. And any position that they take from the Sheriff's Office directly puts the public at risk, and that's unconscionable to me, and I won't allow it without at least having my say.
In response, Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf says they are looking closely at the positions.
Did have 12 people that were working in the sheriff's office that handled warrants. Well, they're budgeted for warrant. I don't know what he's doing with them. He may have used them for some other services, but I think that the constables would be also in the same position of being able to do it.
We'll keep tracking this proposal. An official decision is expected to be made by the end of the week.
The countdown is on for a Texas State House race anchored right here in San Antonio. Democrat Leo Pacheco left his District 118 seat to take a job with San Antonio College. Governor Greg Abbott announced a special election to fill the spot, which will happen on September 28th. Candidates who want to participate in the race will need to file their application with the Secretary of State by Monday at 5 p.m. Early voting will start on September 20th. That race was announced after the new Texas voting law was signed yesterday by Governor Greg Abbott. The measure bans drive-through voting and empowers partisan poll watchers. In response, the nation's largest and oldest Latino civil rights organization filed a federal lawsuit. LULAC claims the bill would suppress voter turnout in communities of color. Governor Abbott and his supporters argue the law makes it harder to commit voter fraud.
Governor Greg Abbott also defending a new state law banning most abortions that also does not provide exceptions for cases of rape or incest. The governor says the new law does not force victims to give birth. Abbott says that Texas will strive to, quote, eliminate all rapists from the streets, end quote. The comments are drawing criticism from opponents of the law, which is the biggest curb on abortion in the U.S. since they were legalized a half century ago.
And here is the latest coronavirus numbers for Bexar County. The COVID-19 positivity rate has dropped another 3 points this week. We are now at 7.6%. The risk level is at moderate.
In the past 7 days, we've seen an average of 1,200 cases per day in Bexar County. No new deaths are being reported. Right now, more than 1,200 COVID patients remain hospitalized. 19 of those are kids. Well, now that kids are back in school across the country, COVID cases among children keep going up.
The American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association reporting that kids represented more than a quarter of all new infections last week. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest from Washington.
With millions of kids heading back to the classroom, a worrying spike in pediatric COVID cases. Just in the last week, nearly 252,000 children tested positive, the biggest increase since the start of the pandemic.
We're definitely seeing a higher number in children.
Younger patients are dying from this, and it's quite disturbing.
COVID cases have already forced at least 1,400 schools across 35 states to close. Top health officials say masks can help keep classrooms open.
No more masks!
But the debate over mandates is far from settled.
If you think masks work, send your kid to school with a mask, but if not, send them to school, let them breathe.
They can't protect themselves. They cannot get vaccinated. It's our job to do that.
In a new milestone, 75% of the U.S. adult population has now received at least one dose of a COVID vaccine. But as the Delta variant spreads, the U.S. now has nearly 4 times the number of infections and double the number of COVID hospitalizations compared to 1 year ago when there was no vaccine.
The treatment for this is prevention. The only thing we have is a vaccination.
In Idaho, one of the states with the lowest vaccination rates, ICUs at capacity could be forced to ration care.
When we get short on certain supplies, oxygen or ventilator equipment or what have you, that may require us to make some tough decisions about who gets what when.
The White House says tomorrow President Biden will unveil a new 6-pronged strategy to fight the Delta variant of the coronavirus and to boost vaccinations. He's expected to urge more companies to impose vaccine mandates. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
And back here at home, the San Antonio Zoo and Metro Health are partnering for a COVID vaccination drive. That's happening today through Friday at the zoo parking garage. That's located at 151 Toledo Drive. The zoo is offering free train rides to everyone who gets vaccinated during that event. Metro Health will also have back-to-school vaccines available.
Time check, 6:11, about 74 degrees.
A new investigation revealing WhatsApp messages are not as private as you may think. Still to come, what Facebook is saying about the allegations.
We're just days away from the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, reflecting on America's time in the Middle East following those attacks.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, not too bad for now, but we are expecting triple digits for a few days, so prepare for the heat, but maybe enjoy the lower humidity. We'll be right back. Saturday marks the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, and for the majority of the past 2 decades since then, America has been at war in Afghanistan and Iraq.
ABC's Karen Travers takes a look at what the war accomplished.
America went to war in the aftermath of 9/11. Back then, the mission in Afghanistan was clear.
The Taliban allowed bin Laden and al-Qaeda to live and operate there with impunity.
But less than 2 years after the 9/11 attacks, the Bush administration turned its attention to Iraq, claiming a threat of weapons of mass destruction there.
Iraq had no role in the 9/11 attacks, full stop.
It was a terrible and ugly manipulation of the American people. They wanted someone to blame, and Saddam was a target they could blame.
The years stretched on, at times as many as 157,000 troops in Iraq and 103,000 in Afghanistan. And the strategy in the two countries shifted.
It moved from being a war against terrorism to an effort to try to nation build, not just in Afghanistan, but in Iraq.
In May 2011, the U.S. accomplishing the original goal that led it to Afghanistan.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda.
But there would still be 10 more years of war. The war in Afghanistan costing the U.S. more than $800 billion. The human toll, more than 2,300 U.S. service members killed. In Iraq, more than $750 billion spent, and nearly 4,500 American military casualties. And now, 20 years after the tragedy of 9/11, a time to reflect on all that has been lost on that day and over 2 decades of war. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Back here at home Wednesday morning, 6:16.
Time to check in with Stephen Cavazos.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Commute's not looking too bad right now. We're spotting a few problems that we're going to get to, but we want to show you some of the shots we have up in TransGuide, see how things are shaping up around town. That's taking a look here. Getting a few more folks out on the roadways now that the morning's really getting going. US 90 at Montgomery looks like it's getting a little bit busier there. I-10 at Proban, same situation going on. We know now that it is 6 a.m., a little bit past 6 a.m. We start to see more folks hitting the roadways, getting their day started early, but as I mentioned, we do have some things to be on the lookout for. Let's go ahead and bring your attention up, though, towards New Braunfels. We've been talking about this throughout the morning here. Some construction off I-35 northbound at State Highway 46. This started last night, but should usually wrap up around 5 a.m. Although we have seen some TxDOT crews still out there. It's leading to a double main lane closure there for some paving work. However, they should be wrapping up by Friday, September 10th, but something to keep on your calendar if you travel up through Austin on 35 northbound. But let's bring it back to town here where we do spot some of those issues right now. It's still building here off Loop 1604 eastbound at Bitters Road. Red and yellow on the screen. Not something good right now, guys. That does indicate a slowdown that we're starting to see there off 1604 due to this crash. We are trying to watch and see how that's going to be impacting the morning drive time. But from the looks of it, drivers are going to want to pack their patience out there towards 1604. And as we jump down here, though, 281, we still have that crash reported off Bassey Road. It doesn't look like it's clear just yet, but something to be on the lookout for as we are getting ready to hit the roadways this morning. Zooming out on the map, we do see that the issues aren't really big right now. They're kind of scattered here and there, but just be prepared as you're going to be hitting the roadways. And taking one last look around town, things are shaping up to look pretty good so far from these shots at TransGuide, but Mike's going to let us know how the weather's shaping up. Mike?
Well, everything's very dry out there, and the air is going to be drying out later on this afternoon, so that's kind of encouraging. And it's going to sort of temper the fact that temperatures are going to be really, really hot. This morning we'll be in the mid lower 70s, some 60s in parts of the hill country, close to a normal average low temperature, but we're going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 above normal. 92 is where should be this time of year, but or the average. We're going to be up to 100. A shower thunderstorm is going to be possible well off to the northwest later on this afternoon. Only about a 10% chance at that. Very interesting picture, and if you look closely at the very top, small little airplane flying right in front of the sun right there with those clouds below it. Real cool picture. Thank you very much for that one. We're not seeing any glow of the sunrise as of yet. It's going to be about another hour until the sun comes up over the horizon, and we do have some clouds out there, but it hasn't been a real thick cloud cover to keep temperatures from dropping down a few degrees. Forecast over the next few days, triple-digit readings and not far from the records over the next couple of days. I don't think we're going to be hitting any of those records, but we're in that ballpark, obviously, and things will start to improve. One reason why we are going to be getting up so hot, dry air, of course, heats up more easily, doesn't take as much energy as moist air does, and with the drier air out there, that allows thermometer readings to go up. We're not going to have much of a heat index through about Saturday, but then go into the latter part of the weekend, the first of next week, that's when the heat index is definitely going to start to go up, and we will have more showers and even a couple of thunderstorms that are going to start to move on in here. This disturbance in the Gulf is continuing to work its way off to the northeast, so that's not going to have any impact on us, and we will have another sort of a disturbance kind of coming on in here by later in the weekend. This is today, those few, if that, showers and thunderstorms out there in northwest portions of the hill country. Then the next couple of days, nothing out there. By late Sunday, a wave is going to move in, a disturbance that will give us the chance for some rain going into the first part of next week, first and even in toward the middle part of next week. So it is encouraging as far as some rain chances down the road, as well as some lower temperatures. Not today, though. 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies. So already up close to the average normal high temperature by noon, and then we top off at 100 with a shower thunderstorm well off to the northwest. One or two of them, I mean, at best. If one does pop up, however, Watch out for some blustery winds associated with any of those storms. Lower humidity the next couple of days, and then we start to see some rain chances move into the picture. Not a sure thing right now, but it's going to, there's that shot of rain out there. Good chunk of next week. Temperatures only in the upper 80s.
Well, a couple of things look promising there, Mike.
Yeah. Low humidity, rain chances, low temperatures.
You say that's closer to normal.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, 92 is the normal right now, so we're way, way above that. So that's just getting us back down into the vicinity of where we should be.
We'll see if we can fix that. Thank you, Mike. 621, about 74 degrees.
And just ahead, the fraud trial of Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes is about to get underway. Details next in your GMA First Look.
Do lotion and jeans go together? A Nivea breathable experiment. Now they do. Moisturizes deeply with no sticky feel. The game-changing Nivea breathable.
Stainless steamer cleans your whole home. All you gotta do is pick up the phone. It's not just carpet anymore. It's tile, wood, stone, really any floor. Call 1-800-STEAMER now. We'll clean your home and you'll say, wow.
It's like a pancake.
Okay, don't roll it too thin. This is a perfect thickness.
Is that a tattoo?
Uh-huh. Look, isn't it cute?
Yeah. Is that real?
It is very real.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
I love it. Can I have one?
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
The video calling device designed to bring people closer. Share something real. Portal from Facebook.
Have anything to say to us, Elizabeth?
In this morning's GMA First Look, Elizabeth Holmes about to stand trial. In just hours, a jury of 7 men and 5 women will hear the government's case for the very first time. Holmes, once the youngest female self-made billionaire, set out to change healthcare with her blood testing technology.
We've made it possible to run comprehensive laboratory tests from a tiny sample.
Only days ago, a bombshell. Holmes' defense revealing she will allege she was the victim of a decade of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse at the hands of her former boyfriend and Theranos COO, Sunny Belwani. Belwani denies these allegations.
Seems like this is going to be the main focus of this trial.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll talk live with legal expert Dan Abrams. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, San Jose.
Facebook is denying a report that it reads and shares WhatsApp messages. An investigation by ProPublica claims Facebook employs contract workers who reportedly read through millions of messages on WhatsApp. Facebook says WhatsApp reviews messages sent to them by users to report abuse.
And time now is 6:26, and it's about 74 degrees out there.
Ahead in the next half hour, latest on the abortion ban, what we're now learning about the growing backlash, and what Governor Greg Abbott is saying about eliminating rapists from Texas streets.
Plus, the U.S. passes 40 million COVID cases. Just ahead, the new concerns about the number of children being infected.
This morning, dozens of people have lost their lives after a horrific fire broke out at a jail in Indonesia. We're going to have the very latest.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, not as humid as it has been, and looking forward to triple digits.
And a good morning to you. It is Wednesday, September 8th.
Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Some of us are looking forward to triple digits. Not us, though.
No, we're waiting on what could be a break from the heat by next week. But Mike says that would actually be closer to normal around here. We've been above for a while now, haven't we, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, for, memory, certainly past couple of weeks at least, with temperatures that have been in the mid and upper 90s, flirting around 100. We hit 100 on Monday. We're going to be up there the next couple of days. And the normal, or as we say, average, is 92 this time of year. So, yeah, we'll finally make it back down there, but not until late in the weekend or even next week. Right now, 74. The average normal temperature is 72, and the dew point's to 71, which this is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. It's not bad. seasonally humid, not anything, steam bath. Wind out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour. So we are going to have more of a northerly component to the wind today, which is going to keep the humidity on the lower side, especially later on this afternoon. Yesterday's mold count was really high. Boy, it shot up after that rain Monday night. Fall elm is on the low side. And, some clouds around here. We had fewer clouds earlier this morning, and that's been allowing temperatures to drop down a little bit as well. Not too awfully warm, close to normal. Then later on this afternoon, mostly sunny. Yep, 100. A couple of thunderstorms are going to be possible well off to the northwest. Few and far between at best. If anything does happen to pop up, though, could have some blustery winds associated with those storms. So that's something to keep in mind in northwest portions of the hill country. Triple digits the rest of the work and school week, but lower humidity. So it will be more comfortable. You can tolerate a little bit more, especially in the shade. Then we go into the weekend. It's not going to be as hot, but the humidity is going to come back into the picture late in the weekend. That then is going to help out with the rain chances, especially starting Sunday into next week. And back down to normal or then some as far as the temperatures. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Anything big out there we need to know about?
Just getting a little bit busier out there, Mike. See here, US 90 at Nogalitos, getting some folks out there, getting their day started. Right now, we're not seeing very many issues out on the roadway. In fact, we still have that crash there, still off 281 at Basse. Looks like it's clearing out there. Again, that's just right off 281 on Basse Road. But the bigger thing was that crash that we talked about off 1604 has since cleared, so some good news there. Traffic still moving, though, a little slow at 41 miles per hour in those eastbound lanes of 1604, but we're seeing it pick up to 65 miles, which is pretty normal there for this hour at 1604 eastbound. So some good news there, progress that we're making. But some stalls vehicle here off I-10 westbound at New Braunfels Avenue, not causing as many issues, but we have been seeing those stalls popping up and clearing out. So as always, as a reminder, check those vehicles before hitting the roadways. Guess what? It is time for inbound times now. Things are still pretty good on the screen right now. You can see if you are going to be coming in from any of these neighboring communities, for instance, on I-10 coming in from Bernie, it's just 24 minutes right now. Everything looks like it's pretty much under a half hour with the exception of Floresville with 32 minutes coming in on 37 right now to the downtown San Antonio area. So nothing too bad right now, but let's take one last look around town. Things are shaping up, getting a little bit busier, but we're going to be watching the roads closely. And as always, keep your eyes on the road as well. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Stephen. A massive fire raged through an overcrowded prison this morning near the Indonesian capital, killing at least 41 inmates and injuring 80 others. Footage shows firefighters battling to extinguish the flames at the compound. Indonesian Red Cross officials evacuated the victims to ambulances. A preliminary investigation into the cause of the fire pointed to a short circuit in one of the 19 prison cells.
This morning, we're getting a closer look at damage left behind after a powerful earthquake struck in southern Mexico last night. It happened near the resort city of Acapulco. At least one death is being reported. U.S. Geological Survey said the magnitude 7.0 quake was centered just northeast of Acapulco on the Pacific coast. The quake even caused buildings to rock and sway hundreds of miles away in Mexico City. Experts say the potential for any tsunami has now passed.
Authorities say at least 17 people are dead this morning after a hospital flooded in central Mexico. The hospital director said 40 patients were transferred to nearby health centers. The Hidalgo state governor says search and rescue missions are underway. The region has been hit by heavy rains since Monday.
Back here at home, San Antonio Police and Crime Stoppers asking for your help solving a pair of murder cases.
The first incident happened back in September of 2019 in the 3800 block of East Commerce Street on the city's east side. And that's where investigators say someone shot 36-year-old Anthony Donald Clark in the head from a distance with a high-powered rifle. Clark was pronounced dead on the scene.
Second murder happened in September of 2018 on the east side in the 5800 block of I-10 East. Police say 44-year-old Harrion Chase was standing in the parking lot of Big Castle Smokehouse when he was shot by another man right across the street. Chase died at the scene and the shooter took off in a white vehicle heading west on I-10.
And if you have any information about either of these cases, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number's on your screen. That's 210-224-STOP.
Well, as we head into the fall and then winter, there are concerns about what colder temperatures will mean in the battle against the coronavirus. As
CNN's Reed Binion reports, that concern is due to the number of children now becoming infected.
This particular variant has attacked the adults at a faster rate. It's attacked our student population at a faster rate.
Educators and health officials alike sounding the alarm over the surge in coronavirus cases among children. More than 250,000 child cases were reported for the week ending September 2nd. That's more than a quarter of the total number of cases reported over that period.
We've got to get the school system masked, in addition to surrounding the children with vaccinated people.
This comes as the nation hits a grim milestone, the U.S. surpassing 40 million total coronavirus infections, with 10% of those cases reported in just the last 4 weeks. And medical experts warn we could be on the verge of an even more intense spike in cases, following heavy travel and large gatherings over the holiday weekend.
We are having to prepare ourselves for having yet again another surge after the Labor Day holiday.
This amid concerns about the ability of hospitals to keep up. According to Department of Health and Human Services data, 8 states had more than 90% of their adult ICU beds occupied as of Sunday. With cases and hospitalizations already on the rise, President Joe Biden is set to address the nation Thursday about the next phase of his pandemic response. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Well, back here closer to home, west of San Antonio, one Sabinal ISD parent is frustrated by the lack of mask wearing at schools. Her 8-year-old son was exposed to COVID last week, and now she says his entire 3rd grade class is quarantined.
It's one kid is exposed and then another kid from a different classroom is exposed. You never get to actually breathe because you send your child and you're just concerned.
So the superintendent, Richard Grill, says the problem is when staffers are exposed and need to quarantine, that spreads the remaining staff too thin and they have no option but to close the campus. With a shortage of teachers and not many substitutes, he says there aren't many other options.
If we all work together and we understand that what worked last year and what we were doing last year worked, to work with your schools to let it work again this year. In the end, the kids suffer because if we're not having school or we're having substitutes in the classroom, they're just simply not learning.
Sabinal Elementary, except for the 3rd grade, are in school this week, but the high school and junior high campuses are closed until next Monday. Uvalde County health authorities say after several weeks, the hospitalization trend does appear to be dropping. New comments from Governor Greg Abbott about the state's new abortion law have sparked more criticism.
At issue is the abortion law's lack of an exception for rape victims. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details.
This morning, growing backlash over how the governor of Texas is defending the state's new abortion law, which makes no exception for rape or incest.
I find Governor Abbott's comments disgusting.
During a signing ceremony Tuesday for the state's new voting restrictions, a reporter asked Governor Greg Abbott about the new abortion law and its impact on rape victims.
Rape is a crime, and Texas will work tirelessly to make sure that we eliminate all rapists from the streets of Texas by aggressively going out and arresting them and prosecuting them and getting them off the streets.
According to the FBI, in 2019, more than 9,000 rape incidents were reported in Texas. Only 1,100 of them were committed by a stranger. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez slamming Governor Abbott last night.
These aren't just predators that are walking around the streets at night. They are people's uncles, they are teachers, they are family friends.
Governor Abbott has not called on lawmakers to take up any new rape prevention legislation, but he defended the abortion law's lack of exemption by saying rape victims will still have the chance to terminate their pregnancy.
It provides at least 6 weeks for a person to be able to get an abortion.
I'm sorry we have to break it down on, break down Biology 101 on national television, but in case no one has informed him before in his life, 6 weeks pregnant means 2 weeks late for your period. And 2 weeks late on your period, so you don't have 6 weeks.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Right now, 640, about 74 degrees.
It's the kind of art that some people love and others love to hate. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll introduce you to a muralist who has deep roots in graffiti. That's coming up.
And welcome back at 6:43. A local artist has been tearing down walls by painting them. She is one of a growing number of women who paint murals, a segment of the art world that has been largely dominated by men.
As Katrina Weber shows us in this week's If These Walls Could Talk, she's made a name for herself mainly by writing her name.
With bright colors and sharp lines, Paula Sanchez lets the world know just who she is. However, she herself has never had any question.
I just like to break those norms of what women should be doing and shouldn't be doing.
For decades, she has been breaking down walls in the art world by painting them, one of an increasing number of women muralists. Growing up in Puerto Rico, she started out painting graffiti, but wasn't always welcome. She was hassled by her male counterparts.
I ended up getting a Great Dane, so whenever I would go paint, I'd take him with me. So no one ever bothered me after that.
Because of that, Dane soon became her calling card, the name she still paints on walls.
You see that big white wall right there?
Although she now is a trained artist and art teacher,
I feel like I'm in between both worlds.
Her graffiti roots run deep.
Sanchez says while the word graffiti may raise all kinds of negative images in some people's minds, it's actually a legitimate form of art. In fact, she says it's what gave birth to more acceptable forms of street art, such as murals.
You wouldn't have any of this. You wouldn't have a bunch of the famous clothing brands that people pay hundreds of dollars for.
Giving others a way to show off their skills is a big part of what she does. She runs the paint yard, which sells the tools these artists need and often provides them a place to paint legally.
A lot of times I go to events and people don't even want to give me an opportunity to paint. So I just started creating my own events.
One of them recently led to this colorful collaboration near downtown. And if Sanchez has her way, she'll continue making her mark among men, one wall at a time. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Katrina. Let's take a look at our roads right now. Things are getting a little bit busier there off I-10 at Woodlawn. Some flashing lights showing that we do have a crash out there this morning. As you can see, this looks like it's on the frontage road near Fredericksburg. And right now, traffic is starting to build up now that the morning's really getting going. And right now, let's take a look at our maps. And we see, again, this is on this eastbound lanes of I-10 at Woodlawn Avenue. Again, near Fredericksburg Road. Use some caution this morning because, as you just saw, it is getting a little bit busier out there. So let's move over for our first responders, give them a break out there as they work to clear the scene. Still have that stalled vehicle that we talked about a little bit earlier. Check the shots at TransGuide I-10 westbound at Ebner Road, that is. You can see that it is still reported out there. Just use some caution again when you see that over on the shoulder lane. There's not a lot of lights out there, so emergency lights that they're using. So again, just be careful. And let's go ahead and jump over to Loop 1604 northbound, where we're seeing a slowdown right at Hosman. Traffic now moving at 11 miles per hour. You can see as we're zooming out of the map, it is getting a little bit busier. Seeing some slowdowns there off I-10 eastbound going up towards Seguin, and we're also seeing a little bit of a slowdown there on 35 southbound coming into the downtown San Antonio area. But let's take one last look at TransGuide again. Move over, slow down for those first responders working to clear the scene. Mike, what's going on weather-wise?
Hot, and it's going to stay that way for the next couple of days. But there's some hope down the road. Beautiful picture yesterday, some of those contrails, and when things are just right up there in the upper levels of the atmosphere, they do kind of stick around for a while. Very cool looking. Thank you very much for that picture, Yvonne. Got some kind of a hazy look, some clouds off in the distance there, and things are definitely lightening up as the sun is thinking about coming up. Humidity is there this morning. It's not ridiculously high, but it will be dropping down significantly later on this afternoon into the evening hours with these winds primarily out of the north to northeast. It'll come back up somewhat tomorrow and then tomorrow morning and then drop down in the afternoon. So it's going to be comfortable in the afternoons. Dry air, of course, heats up a lot more easily than moist air does, which is why we're going to be getting way up there in the upper 90s and low hundreds around much of the area. And so really no heat index to deal with through Saturday. That, though, will change by Sunday and the first part of next week with the humidity coming back in here. But then again, that's going to be feeding or helping out with some showers and thunderstorms. Speaking of which, a couple of showers going to be popping up out there to the north and northwest later on this afternoon into the early evening hours. One or two of those may actually scooch down into our area. maybe a 10% chance for some rain. So not a great chance at rain. But if anything does, and those storms pop up, could produce some pretty strong winds. And there's actually the marginal risk. Now, this is outside of our area, but the marginal risk for a couple of stronger, potentially severe storms out there northwest of the hill country. All right, there's the high pressure, which is pretty much in control right now, keeping us in this northerly flow, and that's what's helping to keep the humidity down, but this is helping to keep us on the hot side. So this picture doesn't change all that much over the next couple of days. However, by later on in the weekend, then we're going to start to see the return of the moisture around here from the Gulf, and this disturbance is going to move on in. That's going to give us the chance for some rain as we go into Sunday, and then especially into the about middle part of next week. And obviously with the cloud cover, that's going to make for some lower temperatures. So between now and then, other than a stray thunderstorm northwest later on today, nothing's going to be happening. Then Sunday, later on in the day, we get chance for a couple of showers around here. Monday, Tuesday, and especially going into the middle of next week. Again, that's that broad brush computer model, so not raining constantly everywhere, but at least we do have those rain chances. Today, 90, partly cloudy skies. It's going to be a hot one today with that drier air at 100, and one or two of those storms off to the northwest if indeed something does pop up. Very hot, not much of a change the next couple of days. Low humidity though. Humidity comes into the picture, back into the picture, I should say, by later on in the weekend. Rain chances and temperatures finally get back down to roughly normal readings and a little bit below that by the first of next week.
We like to see the 80s.
Yeah. We're going to be close to normal at noon, close to a record later on this afternoon.
Yeah.
How about them apples?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. 6:50, about 74 degrees.
And he's been called Laredo's first serial killer. Tomorrow on GMSA, our South Texas Crime Stories series continues with a Border Patrol agent accused of killing 4 women.
As we go to break, outside with live cam on your early Wednesday morning, waiting for the sun to hit those buildings in the downtown area. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the alarming new number in the coronavirus crisis. Cases topping 40 million across the country since the start of the pandemic. The number of pediatric cases surging to a weekly record for us, and more kids going back to school. Some states are now calling in military personnel to help. Dr. Jha is joining us live with his fall coronavirus forecast. That and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
Good morning, I'm Alicia Barrera.
And I'm RJ Marquez, and we're launching a brand new show called KSAT News Now that you can stream online. It's a digital show that you can find on KSAT.com, the KSAT TV app, and of course, KSAT's Facebook page.
A big part of KSAT News Now is being able to engage with you at home, hearing from you. So our first question that we'll be posing is, where were you on 9/11?
Yeah, so make sure you check out KSAT.com. We have an article there where you can submit a short video, and we're also going to be taking questions on our Facebook page as well, and some viewer responses.
So we'll see you later on this morning. The show, KSAT News Now, starts probably at 11 a.m.
Break a leg, guys. That's happening later today. Right now, it's about 5 till.
And on the TransGuide cameras, we see flashing lights out there at I-10 of Woodlawn. Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos.
Something drivers are going to want to be on the lookout for here now that it is building up. I-10 at Woodlawn does show flashing lights out there. Good morning. And as you're getting your morning started, be sure to move over and slow down. As we mentioned, those first responders are working to clear a crash. And we take a closer look at the map. It does show it's I-10 eastbound at Woodlawn Avenue. Still pretty green, though, as we're seeing there reflected on the maps. But as we take a wider look out, we're starting to see a little bit more red and yellow buildup there off 1604 northbound, I-10 eastbound going up towards Seguin, and a little bit there on 35 southbound coming into the downtown San Antonio area. But right now, those inbound times are still looking pretty good, with a minor slowdown in Lavernia with 24 minutes at this hour. But let's take one last look here. Just again, use some caution driving out there this morning, and let's go ahead and head on over to Mike with the forecast.
All right, we've got temperatures in the 60s and low 70s right now, and then a high today up to 100. A shower thunderstorm well off to the northwest.
All right, thanks, Mike. Have a great day, guys.
See you back here at 9.